And we're live! Hello all and welcome. And I am the Realist Philosopher. And this is the Realist Philosopher live call-in show. So how y'all doing today? Hope you're all doing good, fine, and well. I'm doing alright. Seems like there's a lot more interesting stuff happening in the news. For some reason, weekends seem to be slow news days. Yesterday was crap. There wasn't too much to talk about. But today there is a lot to discuss. Fortunately, yes, Congress people are going nuts. Cory Booker's going nuts. AOC's going nuts. I love it. I love it. Oh, boy. Anyway, let me open up the phone lines here before I start in on whatever subject I'm going to discuss first. Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with the show, this is supposed to be a call-in show, although oftentimes people don't call in. It's, hit or miss. Hit or miss. I started doing this show in the mornings. Oh, geez, I got to change that. All right, so airs Monday to Friday, 9 to 10 a.m. That's wrong. So, yeah, I started off doing the show at that time, but not enough people were showing up, and also just didn't seem like the best time. 9 to 10 a.m. on weekday mornings, most people are at work, so they're not going to have the opportunity to call in. There we go. And it's changed. Now it's correct. Airs Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. And if you're wondering why I didn't change this before the show, I didn't think about it. Didn't think of it. I'm a busy guy. What do you want from me? All right, so you can call in. There's a number up there. It's a U.S.-based number, so if you have a cell phone, you probably have a decent cell phone plan, so you probably have free minutes within the continental United States, so it'll be free for you to call. Also, you can Skype me, the Realist Philosopher. That is the Realist Philosopher. That would be me. And I'm active and online right now. So for those of you new to the show, I'm a philosopher and I use realism and comedy to discuss the current goings-on of the day. So let's talk about some of those, shall we? Oh boy. All right, Cory Booker, Spartacus, Pinhead. Lovely. He's a mulatto. Yeah, trying to prove his black creds. So Cory Booker introduces Senate bill on slavery reparations. That's what welfare's for, huh? If you look at per 100,000, the majority of welfare recipients are overwhelmingly black, okay? They receive more welfare than white people, and they're like 13% of the population, huh? Come on. I mean, per 100,000 anyway. What is the... I don't get it. I mean, overall, sure, white people probably might get more because they're like still a majority, 65, 67% or something like that. But per 100,000, absolutely, blacks get way more. But, yeah, what are they complaining about? What was the slavery reparations? Were any of these people slaves? Clearly just him trying to get votes, ensure he gets reelected, or, he's trying to build his, credentials with the poor losers of America, so they'll try to vote him in as president in 2020. Good luck with that. Good luck with that, Spartacus. Pinhead. Idiot. Slavery reparations. Fuck off. So Senator Cory Booker on Monday introduced a bill that would study the possibility. You need a bill to study a possibility of reparations for descendants of slaves. How are you going to prove that? How are you going to prove you're a descendant of a slave? I mean, you're going to dig up their bones, and then how are you going to prove those bones were from a former slave? I don't know how the hell this is going to work. Embracing a push that recently has caught the interest of fellow 2020 Democratic presidential candidates. Yeah, because they want the black vote. The senator from New Jersey said Monday that, they have nothing positive to campaign on except buy people's votes, right? Bunch of socialists. This bill is a way of addressing head-on the persistence of racism, white supremacy, and implicit racial bias in our country. Yeah, continue to try and reinforce this leftist bullshit, right? That the reason black people aren't getting ahead isn't because they're bad with money, that they're impulsive, that they don't know how to defer gratification because on average they have one standard deviation lower IQs. No, it's Whitey. It's evil Whitey keeping you down, so Whitey should pay you. It's very interesting, very interesting. And, of course, the large number of successful black people in America kind of proved this wrong. I mean, if this bias was system-wide and implicit, if it was, you know, the whole system was biased against blacks, then how are any black people getting ahead? Ben Carson, he's a brilliant surgeon. How did he become a brilliant surgeon? He's a black man. I thought the system was biased against him. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. You black people have the same opportunities as everybody else, okay? These kind of fucking narratives, these kind of bills, you know, they're essentially reinforcing, you know, your denial. You're in denial, okay? You don't understand that you're not on average as smart as white people and Asian people. And by the way, most white people acknowledge they're not on average as smart as Asians. You don't see us having conniption fits about these things. Yeah, but apparently you can't point this out about blacks. It will bring together the best minds. I don't think so, because the best minds don't believe this shit. To study the issue and propose solutions. Like giving people free money. That's not free, but taken from Whitey. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so the idea here is that essentially money solves problems. And if you give black people a big lump sum of money, then they'll be able to get ahead. Then they'll start businesses. Then they will, you know, invest and get better educations. Of course, anybody with a brain knows that education doesn't make you smarter. It's not an equalizer. Proven by the many, many, many people who have very little education but high IQs, and they've done very well. Like Bill Gates, who dropped out of college. If you have a very high IQ, you don't need help. You don't need help. It's only low IQ people that need this kind of help. And they need it, you know, because they can't really compete on a level playing field with the majority of the white population, which is part and parcel why they want to get rid of us. Yeah. We want equality of outcome. Get rid of Whitey. So, best minds, my yes. So, and of course, this bill will finally begin to right the economic scales of past harms. Past harms to who? What are we dealing with? Black Methuselah here? Black Lazarus? And we got fucking Black Moses running around who's 600 years old? What the fuck are you talking about? Past harms. Everybody that was impacted by slavery is dead. Dead. By the way, I could get behind giving reparations to people that have actually had harm done to them if you can, you know, prove that this has impacted you harmfully, or even if you can't prove it. I mean, if I kept you as a slave and slavery's wrong and the slavery's ended, yeah, I should have to pay you reparations. But not your great grandkids or some shit. Come on. That's bullshit. The measure is a Senate companion to a bill introduced in the House of Representatives in January by Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas, which, if passed into law, would set up a commission to study the impact of slavery. The time to do this was 1865, not now. And continued discrimination against black Americans and make recommendations on reparation proposals for the descendants of slaves. I don't know what this is going to do. This presupposes that black people can't work and already make money. Well, we know that high IQ people take very little and they spin it into a lot, you know, because they got high IQs. You know, they're creative, they're innovative. How exactly? So black people to date have had no money. Is that the problem? They just haven't had enough money to get themselves ahead. What about all those black people going to university? All these grants and Pell Grants and the government essentially guaranteeing loans for education. Any black person that wants to go to university can. Look at that Evergreen College. Got a bunch of low IQ Neanderthals that were running around a couple years ago with baseball bats trying to impose a no white people on campus rule. How'd they get in? Subsidized by the state, plus the fact they were in state. So, you know, they got much reduced. tuition costs, which was further subsidized by the state, by loans, by student loans. I mean, really, what? So what do you want the money for? So we can get more education, but you can already get whatever education you want in America without needing so-called reparations. So what are you going to use this money for? To get ahead. Get ahead how? Invest in or open a business. You can't save money? I'm not good with money. What? Now what am I giving you money for? You're going to blow it. You're going to lose it. It makes absolutely no sense. This is so stupid. So friggin' stupid. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Yeah. Sheila Jackson says that the impact of continued discrimination against black people is a problem, and she wants to make reparations to slaves' descendants. The legislation was first introduced 30 years ago. Yeah. People continue to try and push this to get black votes, that's all. Since slavery in this country, we have had overt policies fueled by white supremacy and racism that have oppressed African Americans. This is the Marxist bullshit, right? Oppressed African Americans economically for generations. Well, this is part of the problem right here. Why are you identifying yourself as an African American? You don't see me identifying myself as a European American. And I bet you that my relatives, I think they came over here in like 1904 or some shit. My relatives were in Europe a hell of a lot more recently than the majority of these black people, okay, who were brought over in the 18th and 19th century. So why don't I call myself a European American, huh? Yeah, I'll do that. Create more divisiveness. Declare that I'm not really an American, or I don't identify as an American. Why don't you stop calling yourselves African Americans and just call yourselves Americans like I do? How about that? Huh? How about you stop focusing on your race? And then maybe other people will as well. By the way, white people are the least racist people on the fucking planet. Are you kidding me? The problem is most Americans haven't really traveled outside of America. Go to China. Go to Cambodia. Go anywhere else in the fucking world that doesn't have white people. They are the most racist mofos. Are you kidding? You people have no idea. America's the greatest country in the world, and you idiots. And of course, we know why they're pushing this agenda, right? Give me the money! It's easy to make white people feel guilty. We have a highly developed sense of morality. Okay, yeah. So we've oppressed African Americans economically for generations. Now we haven't. Are you talking about the past again? I love that they try to conflate the past with the present. Yeah, they were oppressed when they were picking the cotton, okay? Are they still picking the cotton for nothing? Is anybody picking cotton in America? No, they have fucking machines that do this shit now. Which, by the way, was something that would have happened much sooner if there hadn't have been slavery. Slavery slowed down innovation. Slaves were very inefficient. There was no wealth there, really. I mean, wealth was invested there, but as far as value, wealth being created, they weren't that productive. Let's be honest here, all right? All the slaves would get together, and they would decide on a base level of production, and then if somebody was way, way more productive, it would make the rest of them look bad, and then when they got back to the little shanty towns and shacks, they'd beat the shit out of that guy for being too productive. You need to toe the line, motherfucker. You can't let the massa know that we can do more. Give me a break. They're being oppressed now. Fuck off. Many of our bedrock domestic policies that have ushered millions of Americans into the middle class have systematically excluded blacks, says Cory Booker, through practices like GI Bill discrimination and redlining. Yeah, all these things are gone. All these things he's talking about are from the past, as is slavery. Besides Booker, the idea of slavery reparations for black Americans is at least partially backed by at least 8 other Democratic presidential contenders. Of course. Because whichever one gets picked, they want the majority of the black vote. And they'll get it too, because blacks have become hooked on free shit. Those people are Senator Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's the broad that slept with the, that mayor and got her first job. Big job anyway. Yeah, that way. Senator Elizabeth Warren. Pocahontas. Bernie Sanders. Yeah, commie boy. Not a boy anymore. Okay, yeah, some of these people, not really necessary to read them off. The push by the Democratic White House hopefuls points to the further importance of race and identity issues within the party. It's the only way they can get elected. Yet while supporters say reparations are needed to address slavery and racist aspects of American history. American history? It's history! Just forget about it! I got bad shit that happened to me in my life when I was younger. In my motherfucking lifetime. You don't see me dwelling on it. You got to move on. If you want to be happy in this world, you have to live in the now. You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future because neither of these things exists. All you're doing when you choose to focus on and just always think about the past or the possible futures is you're putting yourself in another place and another time that doesn't actually exist. So you're not living in the moment, in the now. And that's no way to live. That's not a life at all. But let's encourage that. Yeah. Critics claim such a move could cost several $1 trillion without solving the issue of racism. What issue? This word didn't even exist before the 1960s. It was created by the race baiters, okay? By the race baiters who wanted to sow division between the races. Before the Civil Rights Movement, which, by the way, was nothing more than a move to weaponize black people against whites and divide the country, blacks were doing fine. They went to black schools. They worked with other black people. They weren't forced to intermingle with whites and create all this divisiveness and fucking friction. They were able to compete against their fellows, all right? They weren't getting all angry and upset because they weren't achieving at the same level as whites because they almost lived in a different world, essentially. Working with their own people, interacting with their own people. There were no problems. Well, there were some. I mean, you had some white people who... but many of those problems rose up because of the civil rights movement. And the fear on behalf of a lot of Democratic whites, not the Republicans. The KKK were and are, in many ways, most of them Democrats, by the way. Or at least they were. There was no big switch. That's a myth. But, yeah, the KKK was a Democratic, a wing of the Democratic Party, right? That they were. They were all Democrats. People don't know these things. But anyway, yeah, the civil rights movement. The blacks had all the same rights as whites, okay? But then, a bunch of race baiters started pushing the idea that they would do better if they went to white schools. And that, you're missing out on something if you don't have the ability to go sit in Woolworths with Whitey. They had their own section. You need to sit at the front of the bus. Why? What's the problem? Back, front, there's a door in the back, there's a door in the front. It's symbolic. Yeah. It signals that they think of you as a second-class citizen. You got to sit in the back. The back. It's stupid. It's so stupid. And by the way, the majority of these laws were passed by the government. The government was the one that was enforcing segregation, all right? Businesses, left to their own devices, they wouldn't have done these things. They want the moolah, If the government wasn't enforcing this, black people could just boycott, and before you know it, it'd be mixed up. But why would you want to mix it up? Why would you want to mix it up? We see what happens when you mix the races up, when you have this multicultural stew. It just causes lots of trouble. That's why homogenous countries do much, much better and have lower rates of crime. You'd be surprised what countries have less crime than America. China has less crime than America. Japan has way less crime. And you would think, oh my God, how is that possible? China is a freaking communist country. Yeah, well, it's homogenous, though. And on average, they have higher IQs than white people, all right? All right, let me move on here. That's enough of Cory Booker, Spartacus wanting fucking slavery reparations. Kiss my ass, Spartacus, you moron. So anybody out there have any thoughts, comments on what I just said? Do you think I'm a racist? White supremacist? Do you think I'm evil white trash? Do you think I should be wearing a hood and marching around with a burning freaking cross? If you do, feel free to call in. Let me know that you're a hater. Yeah. Then we can have a nice conversation. This number is 623-242-2517. That's 623-242-2517. Racism's not a thing. There's hate. And you hate people for reasons. See, the reason the idea of racism is pushed, it's not a real thing, by the way, is because, it's an automatic wrong. There's no way, there's no scenario where racism can be good. Any dislike of another race has to do with just an unreasonable, irrational bias. There's no way, shape, or form it could be rational. Therefore, there's no debating, no talking about it. Meanwhile, you're somebody that may and does have legitimate reasons for disliking this other race on aggregate, but on average. But, say the word racist, you can't talk about it. You can't talk about the fact that black people commit 51% of the murders in America and they're only 13% of the population. I might have a problem with black people on average because they're killing lots and lots of white people. I have a problem with that. You can't discuss that. That's not why you don't like blacks. You're racist. No. And I don't dislike black people. No. I dislike the average, that the fact that they're killing so many of my people, I have a problem with that, yeah. But we can't discuss that because that's automatically racist, right? You label something racist, you shut down discussion of the reasons behind your dislike because there can't possibly be any rational, reasonable reasons for that dislike. It's just a way of shutting down conversation and at the same time branding anybody that has a problem with the other race as a racist. I mean, unless, of course, you're not white and you dislike white people because they're white. Then that's not racism, of course. Because they've introduced this new aspect that requires power. Yeah, that's nonsense. Nonsense. You have to have power to be racist. What? Right, yeah. Nice little special pleading argument there. All right, yeah, I said I was going to move on. And in regards to what I just said, here's perfect proof of what I'm talking about. Listen to this. Yet more statistics that would be considered racist. Racist facts. You're racist because you're acknowledging truth. Oh, no. You can't do that. So, get this. Black people are 13% of the London population, right? Guess how many murders they're responsible for in London? Wait for it. I'm going to give you a chance to answer. How many do you think it is? Do you think it's 10%? Do you think it's less than their actual representation? Do you think it's 20% of the murders? Do you think it's 30? Do you think it's 40? Do you think it's 50? Ding, 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 ding. They're responsible for 50% of the murders, even though they're only 13% of the population. Where have I heard this number before? Oh, that's right. That's the exact percentage of the population of black people in America, and they're responsible for 51% of the murders. Oh, my God. Wow. Could it be that there's a correlation between being an African and how many people your people kill on average? In white countries especially? Although, you know, I mean, in Africa, they're responsible for almost 100% of the murders because, yeah, it's all black people, right? But you get an idea now of just how violent these people are when you look at their representation in non-black countries. 13% of the population. They're responsible for 50% of the murders. Holy shit, it's the same number in America. Seems like there's some truth behind these numbers that, you know, race has something to do with it. No. White English people are also big racists. Yeah, didn't they end slavery without a war? Didn't they reach a point of enlightenment where they just decided, no more slavery? Weren't we Americans the only one that had to fight a war? We were the only ones that had to fight a war to end slavery in the Western world. The British just said, no more slavery. But somehow they're more racist? Really? It's crazy. Yeah, but we're the evil scumbag racists, right? We white people. Yeah. Tell me about those Muslims again that are selling black people right now in Libya. You can buy a black man for $300. The black women cost a little more, at least if they're not fat slobs, right? If they're not the big-ass fat slobs, and, you know, it's Africa. So how many of them are running around, right? Not a lot of food there, you know, because they're not real good at agriculture, right? Look at what happened to Zimbabwe when all the white people left. Oh, they all starved. Same thing's going to happen to South Africa, by the way. When they've killed or driven out all the white people, they're all starved to death. They'll all starve. People will be dying by the millions. And then, of course, you know, the UN and other aid organizations will come in and give them free food and all that and prop up the communist dictators that are going to take over. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, don't make them suffer the consequences of their horrible, evil actions, their horrible, evil, destructive actions. Oh, no. No. Let's feed them and allow the current regime that took over and caused the mess to stay in power. Okay, so listen to this. So, yeah, 13% of London's population, but 50% of the murders. Unbelievable. And there's a picture here of two guys with swords. This is great. I thought that knives were illegal, London. Yeah, it is amazing to me. Yeah, they ban all the knives, but now I'm looking at pictures of two guys fighting each other in the streets of London with fucking swords. This is your future, Londonites. Blacks and brown Muslims running around in the streets killing each other with scimitars. This is crazy. I'm literally looking at two black men caught on CCTV fighting with fucking swords in the middle of London. It's crazy. Chilling footage captures the brazen moment two young thugs confront each other with machetes in a city center. Yeah. They're basically short swords, and they're really wide blades, good at chopping shit. So Abdul Kafia pulled the fearsome blade from his hoodie. He's wearing a fucking a back sheath, like a Viking or some shit. After an argument, so see, he has his hoodie up. The handle of the thing is behind his head, right? And the blade is going down his back, so it's hidden. It's hidden. Yeah, they're clever when it comes to hiding weapons. Not so much when it comes to producing wealth. Yeah. A court heard Bailey then took a huge machete out of his friend's rucksack before the two men faced up to each other in Newcastle. My God. So one of the guys is a pussy, and he decided to throw his weapon at the other guy and then run away. Yeah, that's real bright. Real fucking bright, dummy. You need to take some classes on how to use that machete instead of throwing it. They're not made to be thrown. It's not a spear chucker. It's not a fucking spear, you idiot. Kefir was on Friday jailed for 20 months for possession of an offensive weapon. But I thought that edge weapons like this were illegal. How'd they get them? I mean, Jesus Christ, they're criminals, right? Yeah, criminals tend to not follow laws about what kind of weapons they can possess. Of course, the criminal aspect is in no way, shape, or form owning the weapon, but using it in a way that initiates force against somebody else. This is, making things that shouldn't be legal and that are not criminal, expecting that, you can stop criminal activities that are not criminal activities. No! You can't stop people from owning guns and knives. And by the way, criminals get these things anyway. The only thing that you could do is let the good people have them as well so that they can defend themselves against these thugs. Oh, my God. This is crazy. This is crazy. Guys fighting in the streets of London with swords. Black people in the capital are disproportionately the victims and perpetrators of murder when compared with other groups. New figures have revealed. Yeah? Yeah. No shit. Oh, my God. A Sky News Freedom of Information request every police force in the country showed London was unique when it came to murder. Statistic, give it time. Give it time. You have a disproportionately high number of black people in London, okay? The population of Britain itself is not 13% black. But once it reaches that point, you white people are in for some trouble. People talk about, woo, Britain still has less murders per capita than America. Give it time. Give it time. That's not even true, by the way. Give it fucking time. I guarantee you, when your population reaches 13% or more blacks, you're going to be in trouble. We have a caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, yeah, I'm calling from the UK, actually.
All right, are you a hater or do you like my content?
Well, I'm just sick and tired of all these niggers. It's just, they're everywhere.
Okay. So we have an idiot who doesn't seem to understand that you can't use that kind of language on YouTube, and he's an idiot. Okay. You are blocked. Sorry. And if you try to call in using an unknown number, it won't work. So, yeah, we have another moron. We have a moron alert. Moron alert. Did I use that word? No. I do not hate blacks, and I do not hate black people, but I don't like the ignorance of the reality of race and IQ. All right? I'm an IQ realist. I'm a race realist. It's a big problem. Big, big problem. People need to start acknowledging this. I mean, if you stoke up all this anger and all this resentment in a race of people who really do not have the ability to discern on a very high level truth from fiction, well, what you're going to get is a lot of violence. A lot of violence. Okay, so, yeah, almost half of murder victims as well as suspects were black, despite the ethnic group accounting for just 13% of London's population. White people in London make up 60% of the population, but only account for 35% of murder victims and 24% of murder suspects. Whoa! So white people are underrepresented. I love it. I love it. I love how people are going to try to talk to me about how the races are equal. Really? Really? So then why are black people, even though they're only 13% of the population of London, committing half of all murders, while white people who are 60% of the population are only committing 24% of the murders? Oh my! It seems like you're many, many, many times more likely as a white person to be the victim of some kind of violence from a black person than the other way around. Huh. But there's no racial component to this behavior. No! Yeah, it's all environmental! Numbers for the rest of the country painted a different picture, with murder victim and suspect figures more or less proportionate to the makeup of the population. That's because the rest of the country has very little black people. Nationally, 3% of the population is black. You don't have blacks hogging all the murders and killing so many people that they tilt the fucking statistics way in their favor in other parts of the country. That's why. Yeah, so the majority of murders that you are going to see, they're representative of the people that are actually living there. Yeah, and if you didn't have black people in London, the murder rates would match up with the, population at large. And there'd be a lot less murders, by the way. 50% less. Ah, boy. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's your own damn fault, London. What was that guy thinking? Calling me in and using that kind of language. What an idiot. What a maroon. Hey, people. If you think I'm some kind of fucking KKK Klansman or something, you're calling the wrong show, okay? You know, I use a lot of hyperbolic speech. I use a lot of anti-PC speech. I'm a provocateur of sorts. But you need to recognize the difference between that, which a lot of that is for effect, and, actual outright bigotry and just being an asshole, okay? That guy using that kind of language. What a pinhead. Stay in the UK, meathead, you moron. What an idiot. You could have fucking talked to me, but no, you had to use that kind of language. You're a fucking moron. You're off. You're out of here, pinhead. What a fucking idiot. What a fucking maroon. I hate that. Don't use the N-word if you call into my show. You thinking I'm some kind of, sympathetic ally of yours, you scumbag, skinhead piece of shit, you. No, I'm not. I'm not your friend. I'm not your ally. People use that kind of language. Oh, my God. You're an actual Nazi fucking skinhead. No. Yes, the unknown person. Yeah, he's calling back and trying to call back as an unknown person. And he's a troll as well, which is why he used that language. And now he's going to try to continue to call back again and again. Right. All right, block him. What a fucking moron. What a maroon. All right, so after the show, I can say this is what I don't like. This is just another troll, and he's essentially going to keep calling and keep going, and he feels like he's been aggrieved somehow. He feels like he's been attacked somehow, so he's going to keep calling, right? Calling from the UK, no less, which is international long distance, right? Yeah, what a loser. Hey, pal, you're a loser. You are a loser, okay? You're a loser. You're a troll. Continuing to call a show like that after I called you out on your bigotry and the fact that you're just a fucking dumbass troll. That's really annoying. Get a life. Get a fucking life. You're not in control. You have no power here. Don't come after me. You'll feel powerless in your own fucking country. You're probably a moron that voted to stay in the fucking European Union. You've created your own problems. You've made your bed. Now lie in it, okay? You were probably a liberal at one time, supporting all these fucking outsiders coming in and invading your country. Don't call me and give me a hard time, okay? I didn't fuck your country up. You fucked your country up. Don't give me a hard time. By the way, America's got its own problems, all right? I don't need you calling my show and creating issues, okay? You want to be a troll? That's fine. Go be a troll somewhere else, all right? Go be a troll somewhere else. Pinhead. What a maroon. I have an idiot like you on my fucking show. You better be glad I didn't fucking have you on the fucking show. I give you what you want, idiot. Tear your fucking head off. I ain't people like this. Yeah, I really need to indulge in that kind of negativity. No. You go out and call some people the N-word and, you know, stoke the flames of your own anger and all that instead of actually doing something about it, right? Moron probably voted to remain. I'm a Remainer! All right, so, wow. Let's move on to a kooky story, all right? Kookiness. What a moron. He's like, how childish, too. See, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody that you don't want to talk to, all right? And immediately when somebody uses that kind of language, I mean, that kind of language can cause problems for me, all right? You can't use that kind of language on YouTube, all right? You can't. That causes real problems. You want to use that kind of language, that can get the people who you call into in trouble. I'm not fucking going to, in any way, shape, or form, pay any credence to the words of somebody that uses language like that. That could get me in trouble. You got to go, pal. No common sense. Somebody that does something like that has no common sense, very little self-control, very little ability to regulate their own behavior. And this guy is blaming black people, probably for his bad life, right? Yeah, which I'm guessing ain't so great. Hey, pal, I got news for you, okay? You're probably on par, IQ-wise, with these people that you call the N-word, okay? I mean, why are you calling me again and again and again? Pathetic. Pathetic. You compound the problem when you do things like that. Oh, that motherfucker don't want to talk to me. Well, I'm going to make him talk to me, goddammit. Well, I'm not going to talk to you. You made that impossible when you use that kind of language. Sorry, bye-bye. We have a no N-word rule here, okay? No N-word rule. You know, again, what an idiot. What a maroon. Get your own show, Pinhead. And by the way, if you think a lot of people are listening, you're wrong. So you're barking up the wrong tree. What an idiot. I love trolls. It's so ridiculous. Why don't you go troll somebody else, huh? Why don't you go troll that Tommy Sotomayor, whatever that freaking guy's name is. Call him that. See how far you get, right? Why are you trolling me? You clearly hate blacks, so go bother them. I don't use that kind of language. I'm just stating statistics and facts. That doesn't make me a hater, but you clearly hate them. It's not my problem. Oy vey. This is some crazy shit. This next story is nutty, by the way. So, this is crazy stuff. I never see these kind of stories with men, by the way. So, a Michigan woman lived with her dead boyfriend for a month. Really? I need a laugh after that last moron caller who has no life. I'll have to set the program not to ring so you can sit there forever. You know, because calling in, what you just don't seem to understand, if you continue calling, it doesn't actually block the lines. Other people can call in too. So, yeah. Or maybe I'll answer and then I'll put you on. Yeah, I'll mute you. Okay, you can talk to yourself. Sure. You want to call back in? Yeah, I'll take the call and then I'll mute you and then you can keep talking but nobody will hear you. And then somebody else can call in and, then you'll be automatically put on hold and continue to talk to yourself and nobody will hear you. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do that. What an idiot. Thinks that I'm going to... what a pinhead. Lovely. All right, so let me see here. How do you live with a dead person for a month? I mean, what was it, the middle of winter? Did she not have the heat on? Wouldn't it rot? Has anybody out there smelled a dead body, by the way? You're not missing anything. I've smelled a dead body. It's pretty nasty. And this was outdoors, too, where you didn't have walls and roofs and shit to, hold in the stink. How do you live with a dead body for a month? So a Michigan woman faces charges after allegedly living with her dead boyfriend for several weeks. Did she kill him? Or did he just die of natural causes and she just lived with him? Police say Angela Schock concealed the death of her 61-year-old boyfriend. Concealed the death? Why? Did she kill him? It doesn't say. Schock told the judge during her arraignment her boyfriend was her only means of financial support. Police say she continued to use her boyfriend's bank card after he died. Police have not said what caused his death. Oh, I see. That's weird. I just wanted to point that out. That's very bizarre. I don't see a man being able to do that. It seems like only women can do this weird shit. Wow. That's cuckoo. How do you live with a dead body for a month? Wow. Wow, that's bizarre. I mean, can you imagine you wake up and your partner's dead and you just go, oh, well, go about my day. I leave him rotting in the bed that you continue to sleep in? Holy shit. I guess he was getting Social Security or something, and it would have stopped if somebody found out he was dead, but I'm going to move on. This is too weird. Too weird a subject. Now, this next story is, you want to talk about bizarre. This is just, wow. Texas bill prohibiting male masturbation moves closer to becoming law. What the fuck? WTF? SMA, shake my fucking head. That would be SMFH, but anyway. What? A proposed bill in Texas that would impose a fine for male masturbation is making its way through the state's legislature. Really? You know, this had to be introduced by a feminist, probably a fat, disgusting, man-hating feminist who can't get a man, and she blames the fact that they can use your hand. Prohibiting male masturbation? Really? How are you going to enforce that? How are you going to know? How are you going to know if somebody's jerking off? What are the cops going to run around and go to people's doors, tap, 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 banging on the fucking door with their billy club? Are you jerking off in there? Open the door. Door gets open. I smell cum. Or they have like a fucking cum detector. We have a cum detector here. If there's not a woman in this place and we detect cum, you're going to jail. Holy shit, how are you going to enforce this? How are you even going to know? Is that a cum stain on your shirt, boy? I know a cum stain when I see one. You're going to jail. What the fuck? House Bill 4260, called the Man's Right to Know Act, would punish male masturbation with a $100 fine and require men who want Viagra to be subject to a rectal exam? What? What is this? The bill filed, this is real, by the way. This isn't, I'm not fucking trolling you. This is real. The bill, filed earlier this year by Texas Legislature Representative Jessica Farrar, it's a woman, see, I called it, was referred to the House State Affairs Committee on Tuesday. This is crazy. By focusing on male masturbation, the proposed legislation is an obvious attempt to satirize and draw attention to the unreasonable and dangerous policy proposals concerning women's reproductive freedom coming from the Republican Party. I see. Oh, she's afraid that they'll make abortion illegal. By the way, isn't this a false equivalency? I mean, what the hell does masturbation have to do with abortion? Oh, my body, my choice. You see, the difference here is that, one, masturbating doesn't really endanger society, okay? It's not a destabilizing force by allowing women to just go out there and bang every Chad around with no consequences to their negative actions and essentially destroy their ability to pair bond, and so they won't ever form long, stable relationships that are the foundation of Western society. Jerking off doesn't endanger that at all. That's number one problem in this false equivalency argument. Number two, semen ain't babies. Semen ain't babies. Of course, she's so fucking dumb. I'm guessing 80 IQ, 80 to 85 IQ, that she doesn't see this. Moron. Didn't somebody tell her that it's not her job or place to use her position as a state legislature, somebody in state government, to essentially try to use the system to make points by pushing this kind of draconian legislation that, if it actually passed, would be horrific for men? Oh, I love this. Oh yeah, she doesn't think it'll ever pass. Right. What if it does? What if it does pass? Would she complain? I don't think she would. I don't think she'd have a problem with it. My body, my choice. Meanwhile, I'm going to make men stop jerking off. I have no problem doing that. It's this fucking guy again, I bet. All right, let's teach him a lesson. Hello, caller.
Hey, I just wanted to say sorry for what I said earlier on.
Oh, another idiot. I don't fucking care. I really don't care. Stop calling. Stop calling the show, okay? There are no second chances. You're out of here. I really don't want to hear from you anymore. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. Just stop calling. Stop calling. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up. I don't want to hear from you. How many times did you call? 57? Interrupt the fucking show again and again and again? You could have waited till the next show. But oh no, you had to get your way, didn't you? Yeah, grow up, pal. Let me tell you something, pal, all right? I can tell a lot by you just from your actions. You are responsible for the shitty point you are in your life. If your life isn't going so well, guess who's to blame? You. You want me to go easy on you? Don't call me 27 fucking times in a row and then expect me to be easy on your ass or even want to talk to you. Fuck off. Grow up. Start taking responsibility for your actions. Maybe call again in a month. I don't know. Whatever. But don't call me again. Not today. And he's having to call as an unknown caller because I blocked his number. Idiot. You know why I blocked your number? Yeah. Because of your language. You're not getting on the show again because I don't take calls from unknown callers. That's life. Life has consequences. Clearly a young man, very little self-control. I don't know why you want to be on my show. You want to be on the show and talk about something specific? Yeah, I could help you, but you don't seem to want help. Send me an email, pal. If you want help with the clear issues in your life, and you clearly have issues. I don't want to hear that. I hate you, realist philosopher. Well, there you go. That's why you have problems in life. Denial, denial, denial. Hate the messenger. Yeah. No. Your problems are you. If you'd like to deal with them, you'd like to solve them, send me an email. Maybe I'll talk to you again then. And maybe not. Maybe not. But stop calling me today. This is retarded. Yeah, it's not all about you, narcissist boy. The world doesn't revolve around you. A proposed bill in Texas that would impose a fine for male masturbation. This is such an irresponsible action. Trying to use her job to make a point. What if the bill that you're proposing actually got passed? Because generally speaking, people propose bills that will become law because they think it's good. They think it's good. If you're just doing it to make some kind of retarded point from your own ideological point of view, which most people, I think, don't ascribe to, or at least half the population doesn't, well, then, and by the way, if it's a point of view that goes against your own stated position, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah. All right. So Farrar is a vocal abortion rights activist, of course, with a long record of opposing legislation in Texas hostile to women's reproductive freedom. That includes killing babies. The Statesman reports the details of the new legislation prohibiting unregulated male masturbation. Again, I don't know how you would enforce this. What if you made this law? What are you going to do? Put cameras in everybody's house? Well, to enforce this law, we need more draconian measures, so we're going to put cameras in all your fucking houses, and if we see you jerking off, to jail with you. Isn't that an invasion of our privacy? You're right. Now we have to pass laws taking away your privacy. What a dumb broad. Well, what a dumb broad. The bill calls masturbatory emissions an act against an unborn child and failing to preserve the sanctity of life. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. Sperm is not fucking kids, okay? It's not. She's so dumb. The bill also contains provisions that would also put restrictions on vasectomies, Viagra prescriptions, and colonoscopies. It's not your job to push legislation that could possibly become law that will affect the freedom of a man and his rights over his body. By the way, rights that don't actually affect other people because there isn't some life growing inside him. It's not your job to do that, to make some kind of point about women, okay? It's a false equivalency here. There's no comparison. It's apples to oranges, but she's too stupid to see that. So she goes on to say, the state must create an informational booklet called A Man's Right to Know that contains information and illustrations on the benefits and concerns about those 3 treatments. A man must review the booklet before going through with any of them. She thinks she's making a point, and she thinks she's making a valid point, but she's really not. So she goes on to say, a man must receive a rectal exam and an MRI of his rectum before any of these 3 treatments. What? A man would not be able to sue a doctor for refusing to provide those treatments or another procedure. She's a rabid feminist. She's a rabid anti-male feminist. A doctor must obtain consent from the man before providing any of these treatments. The state must establish a registry of nonprofit organizations and hospitals that provide abstinence counseling, a supervising physician for masturbatory emissions, and semen. Well, how is jerking off going against abstinence? Abstinence is having sex with not having sex with other people. It's so dumb. This is so dumb. And by the way, gentlemen, women would love to do this. She would love if this bill passed. You know why? Because then men in their mind would have no choice but to get with women more. Evil, nasty, harpy shrews like her. Oh, boy! The statesman also notes that current state law requires that doctors distribute to women considering an abortion the A Woman's Right to Know booklet, which contains illustrations of gestational periods and the risks and side effects of abortion. Women also must wait 24 hours. This is so stupid. So essentially, she's trying to make the point that, and this is a spurious point, by the way, because abortion is still legal. But she's trying to, where's the outcry? It's great. So she's trying to claim that Republicans are trying to make abortion illegal, which they're not trying to do on a federal level. Now, some state legislatures and some states are introducing bills like a heartbeat bill, which I 100% support, which says that if you can hear a heartbeat, you can't get an abortion. I'm all for that. What's that, in Georgia? You got a bunch of entitled fucking actors in Hollywood saying they'll boycott Georgia. We'll never make a movie in Georgia again. Great. Go make it in another fucking state that'll charge you 20% more in taxes. Yeah. When it comes to the pocketbook, yeah. Yes. Well, we'll see how many people, how many directors and Hollywood producers and makers of movies actually avoid Georgia. And by the way, they are the real policymakers in Hollywood, not a bunch of these entitled cunt actors. Alyssa Milano being one of them, who's a has-been. When was the last time she was in anything? Did a bunch of fucking soft-core movies, a bunch of soft porn movies back in the fucking 90s, and was on that piece of shit Charmed that ended, what, 20 years ago? Fuck off, bitch. Nobody cares what you have to say. Ay, ay, ay. This is so stupid. Yeah. This must be, either she's one of these social democrats, or I bet you George Soros supported her campaign in some way. Follow the money trail. Libtards like this broad, you know she's connected to Soros in some way. Oh, God. Anti-masturbation bill. Piss off. So stupid. So fucking stupid. All right, the last story I want to talk about is, I think it's about the UK, which would, maybe interest the guy that just tried to call in, but hung up on his ass. I understand people. You know, this guy, the guy that just called in is a beta. You're a beta, pal. You do know that. You know why you're a beta? Because you're ruled by your emotions. You don't rule them, they rule you. The only type of person that would continue to dial and dial and dial and call and call and call is somebody whose emotions are controlling them. Because that's irrational behavior. And that's what women do. The women act like that, but I wouldn't expect a man to act like that. You want to be an alpha male. You want to be, I don't even use the term alpha. You want to be a real man? Don't do that. Have some control. I might have actually spoken to you next show or in a week or something, but for some reason you felt the need to continue to dial the fucking show. Why would you do that? Because you have no self-control. Yeah, I could help you with that, but you don't want help. You're in denial. You think you're a real man, and you're just angry at the messenger for pointing out your very beta blue pill behavior. Fine. Then don't call in if you don't want to hear what I have to say. But he continues to call in. All right, this is from the Daily Wire, this last story. Listen to this. Thousands of elderly patients in Britain are going blind due to eye surgery rationing. Great. I was talking talking about this in the last show, about single payer, Medicare for all this stuff, free health care. This is what you get with state-run health care. Yeah, it's free if you can get it. I was talking about some idiot the last show, some retard, some moron economist, essentially a leftist who went to university, a very leftist university, and got a degree in economics so he could call himself a fucking economist and then use that title of economist to support his libtard arguments that have no basis in reality or economics. Yeah, simply the argument from authority, right? I have a degree in economics, so anything I say about economics is right. Yeah, retarded, stupid. And he said that, insurance companies are evil because they're a middleman. They're a middleman, and they just exist to make money. Yeah. Why else would... You mean wealth? Why else would they exist? Oh, they're just going to exist and create themselves. So somebody's going to create an insurance company for nothing. I have no incentive. I don't want to make profit. I'm just doing it, what, for altruism? Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be a real great businessman who is real worried about cutting down on costs and thereby maximizing profit. No. I just want to be altruistic and give everybody health care, and then the fucking insurance company goes out of business because the person running it wasn't a good business person. Oh. And this idiot yesterday, the article I was talking about, he was talking about how, they're just greedy, insurance companies are greedy, and they just have all these employees and overhead they have to pay. Let me explain something to you, non-economist, something similar to AOC. I studied economy, and I don't know anything about economics. Let me tell you something. Businesses don't just hire people they don't need. Their job is to maximize profit, especially big companies, especially big corporations that have shareholders, that are publicly traded, that have stock in the market. They can't just, let's hire a bunch of people we don't need who won't contribute anything to the company so we can waste a lot of money. No. They hire people they need. And they want to maximize efficiency and get the most productivity they can out of the least amount of people, and so that they can maximize profit. Because if they don't maximize profit, guess what? There won't be an insurance company. So they're as efficient as humanly possible. And he wants to move healthcare from insurance companies to the government. Hey, pal, not economist who claims to be an economist. What the fuck do you think the government is if you put them in charge of healthcare? They're a middleman. They're an evil middleman, just like you accuse these insurance companies of being. But now you've put somebody in charge who has no incentive to be efficient. They have no incentive to maximize profit because there's no profit. There's no incentive to be thrifty with the money. You have a bureaucracy that isn't beholden to shareholders to maximize profit and save money, so it's going to be inefficient and wasteful. You think that a fucking insurance company costs a lot of money? Put the government in charge of it. It'll cost way more. Idiot. I have a problem with this middleman because he wants to make profit. So I'm going to give the running of the business to this middleman who doesn't give a shit about profit, which I think is some kind of great, wonderful thing until it costs them 10 times more to do it. Because they have no incentive to be efficient or maximize profit. What an idiot. Economist my ass. Economist that doesn't know how business works. What a pinhead. Yeah, now you got fucking thousands of elderly people in Britain going blind because they're rationing surgery. Yeah, hey, imagine that. The public health service in Britain is running out of fucking money. They got waiting lists. What people don't understand about socialized healthcare, yeah, it's free if you can get it. It's not readily available, though. It's not like you just go in and you see a fucking doctor. You get put on a fucking waiting list. I mean, maybe for minor shit. Like, a sore throat or something, but you'll still sit there for hours and hours waiting. But if you need some kind of major surgery or some kind of major treatment, you're going to be waiting a long fucking time. You might be waiting so long, you don't need to see a doctor anymore because you're dead or blind. Healthcare rationing is a regular part of the United Kingdom, which has nationalized healthcare in a way Democrats in America want to do. Yeah. You mean in America, where it's still not a free market in medicine, where there's no competition, but you can still get eye surgery Because eye surgery is one of the few surgeries in America. Eye doctors are one of the few types of doctors that are not regulated because insurance doesn't pay for LASIK and other types of surgery of that nature. So it's cheap. It's cheap. Started out being $20,000. Now it's like $2,000 because of competition, right? And innovation. You know, costs are high. You need to innovate to make it cheaper. And competition, it drives down costs by incentivizing the doctors to lower their own costs and to become more efficient in doing the surgery so they can actually make some kind of profit. Meanwhile, you give the fucking government the job. Where's the incentive to innovate? To drive down costs? None. None. They're just getting taxpayer dollars. So, says the article, leads to consequences. As does everything. Hundreds of elderly citizens go blind each year while waiting for eye surgeries. The latest report on the issue comes from the Times of London. The outlet reports that the latest survey from the Royal College of Ophthalmologists found there's no incentive to do any of those things. So the costs go way up. So you have to ration everything because it's so fucking expensive to do anything. Well, of course, you know, leftists don't understand this. Because they've only been taught ideology. They haven't been taught critical thinking and logic. Rationing of cataract surgery continues even after guidance was issued suggesting patients not have the surgery delayed. Right. There's a humongous waiting list. They don't have enough doctors. They don't have enough money. They don't have enough equipment or supplies. They have to ration everything. This is something people don't get. You can nationalize this stuff, but it won't be readily available, and the quality will suck. So the outlet reported that removing cataracts was one of the most common NHS procedures. Right. So common that lots of people need it, so it's not readily available. So, oh my God. So more than 400,000 such surgeries are conducted each year. Wow, you Brits have some fucked up eyes. 2 years ago, the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence stated that patients requiring cataract surgery should not have to wait until they are almost blind to receive treatment, yet that appears to still be the case in 2019. Yeah, imagine that. No incentive, no profits, no efficiency. It's actually encouraged to be inefficient. Yeah, nothing has changed, Mike Burdone, president of the RCO, told the Times. We can't have a situation where NICE is set up to make these situations and local healthcare groups simply say, we don't like the answer, and deprive the elderly population of the chance of a better quality of life. I'm bitterly disappointed. By the way, doesn't the NHS cover breast implants? Some MP wanted to get reelected, so we'll cover breast implants. Are you kidding? He called cataract surgery probably the most life-transforming procedure the NHS does. So you got people possibly going blind, and money is being taken away from that to pay for bigger boobs for chicks. Helen Lee, the policy manager for the Royal National... Who is this? It better not be this guy again. Hello, caller.
Hey, I heard people were going blind, so fuck niggers, fuck niggers.
Okay, so that's the same guy or another guy. That's unfortunate. Unfortunate. All right. It's crazy. Wow. So, yeah, the NHS... ridiculous. So, all right, let me find where I was. And, right. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to close Skype. The show's over anyway. I just want to finish this story. The outlet reported that removing cataracts was the most... it's one of the most common procedures, yet you're paying for breast implants. It's unbelievable to me. We can't have a situation where NICE is... Okay, he called cataract surgery. Yeah, all right. I need to start highlighting this stuff so I don't lose my place. Helen Lee, the policy manager for the Royal National Institute of Blind People, stressed the importance of cataract surgery in a statement to the Times. Cataracts can have a dramatic impact on someone's ability to lead a full and independent life, potentially stopping them from driving and increasing their chance of serious injury by falling. Well, that's kind of sad. I mean, do we really want old people driving anyway? I mean, Jesus Christ. 80-year-old, 85-year-old people who can't even see over the steering wheel. Yeah, they should probably stay at home. Stay at home. Oh, they need to drive. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure we should be encouraging people that probably shouldn't be driving at that age. So, NHS naturally pushed back on concerns. Julie Wood, chief executive of NHS Clinical Commissions. All right. Let's do this. Hello, caller.
Hello, buddy.
Hey, pal. Hey, what the fuck are you calling this show for? Who is this? Give me a break with the fake voices. Stop calling the show, all right? Fuck off. Some idiot. Call ended. All right.
Yeah, I'm calling normally though. Hello? Fuck niggers.
Same guy. It's interesting, when people get what they want, it's not really that satisfying. That's unfortunate that people have that kind of view. Well. Yeah, they make old white people look bad. So, this is just the latest report on the lack of access to important eye surgeries. Last June, the Telegraph reported that patients were going blind while waiting for treatment for glaucoma and age-related macular degeneration. A survey at the time found that up to 22 patients are going blind or partially blind each month. Again, this is what happens when you have socialized medicine. You can't get treatment. It's free if you can get it. Just like bread lines. Oh, bread's free. Yeah, people line up all day and, the bread's gone before a quarter of the people got any. Sure, it's free if you can get it. This is the problem with socialism. It makes everything scarce. So then everything goes to a fucking fortune. There's very little of it. So not much is available. This includes food and other services like healthcare. You de-incentivize the most productive people in your population so that they stop producing. You remove 50% of productivity right there. The square root of any group produces 50% of the wealth. They are responsible for 50% of everything that's produced. These are that wealthy, evil 1% you all hate so much, at least all you leftists. I love rich people. I think they're great. You take them away. You disincentivize them. You say, okay, you can't make profit anymore. They move. They're worth millions, billions. They go move somewhere else. They leave the country. You've just removed 50% of all productivity. Uh-oh! And all the other little mom and pop and smaller businesses that are responsible for the other 50%, a lot of them go out of business too because there's no incentive for them either. Before you know it, almost nothing's getting produced. And what is getting produced is like 1/10, 1/50th of what was getting produced before. So people starve to death. And this includes healthcare as well. Some doctors are far better at their jobs, far more productive than others, much better at diagnosing illness, treating illness. You take away their incentive to be doctors, what do? They leave. They go to another country and they perform medicine there, right? Or they just go into another business. And what you're left with are the dregs, right? The barrel scrapings. You're scraping the bottom of the fucking barrel and you've got the least efficient, the least skilled doctors left. So that makes the fucking system even more inefficient. And then you throw in the government as the middleman instead of a self-interested middleman who is essentially focused on being as efficient as possible and maximizing profit. What do you get? You get very little health care, right? Very little health care that what is available is free, but there's not very much of it. Makes no sense to me, you Brits embracing this NHS bullshit. Who's already bankrupt. Of course, that's kind of the goal, to bankrupt the country. That's what the global elites want. Crash the system, bring about the supposed global utopia of equality. Yeah, wait till you see what that looks like. Everybody's equally miserable and poor. Yeah. But then there won't be anybody else to envy. So the poorest among you, yeah, they'll be so happy. Nobody's rich. Nobody's rich. Nobody else for me to envy. Yeah, you feel better about yourself because you don't have these rich people to compare yourself to. And then you're forced to ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What's lacking in me that I can't be like them? Not everybody's poor, so you'll feel better about yourself. Good for you. Yeah, you've destroyed the lives of millions or billions of people, but you feel better about you. Yeah. Pisses me off. So let me know what you think in the comments section, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Meanwhile, I'm going to look into another form of call-in option that allows me to block certain types of callers and has more functions so people like this who have no lives can't call in. But if they do continue calling, just ignore them. Just ignore them. Of course, giving them too much attention right now. So, yep. And if you like my content and you're not an evil skinhead like some of these callers, please feel free to donate to my channel at therealistphilosopher.com/donate. That is therealistphilosopher.com/donate. I want to do more in regards to content creation. I want to start a 24/7 radio station, but that costs quite a bit to do. I'm also looking for talent to be on that station. So if you're somebody who thinks you have, talent as an online content producer and you have some content you could share with me to let me see whether or not you actually have some skill, the gift of gab, send me an email at admin@therealistphilosopher.com. That's admin@therealistphilosopher.com. I think a station committed 100% to men and men's issues would be great. Also, if you'd like to be on the show and talk about something a little more in depth, a little more important, you want some answers, you want a little more of my attention and my philosophical acumen applied to whatever problem you'd like to discuss, email me. Anyhow, that's it for this show. I hope you'll follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, or Instagram. You'll see all the addresses at the bottom of the screen. I'm a very prolific poster on Facebook and Twitter. Post a lot. You can follow my tweets or my posts on Facebook, even interact with me. So those are good places to follow me on. I'm also on Gab, Instagram. All righty, y'all. I'm the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. I will solve the problem with the call-in so we get rid of these trolls. Seems like talking about them, though, brings them. So, yeah. We're going to ignore these people in the future. All right, guys.